Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another series for this FIFA 10-hour trial here on EA Access. Like I said, realistically, I'm probably going to play a lot more on PlayStation this year, but because of EA Access, I am going to give it a shot for these 10 hours and try to record some gameplay for you guys. I wanted to try to get a lot of the best teams in the world and try to play as many games against them as possible. So we're going to do a Super League. We're going to throw the best 22 teams in ranking on multiple websites into the MLS and see how they can do in a playoff situation, see who gets into the playoffs and who can make it. I had a little bit of a different kind of plan on how I wanted the teams to line up in each conference, but it ended up shuffling it itself regardless of how I put the teams into the league. It ended up pretty good, but I was planning a little bit different of a switch, and it is a little weird that Hoffenheim managed to get into the Western Conference somehow. But again, Hoffenheim probably isn't going to be that great of a team in this series because their FIFA rating is not that high, regardless of how well they're playing right now in the Bundesliga. So this is going to be the top 22 teams. Like I said, we're going to play with PSG. I want to try to do this 4-2-3-1 formation. I was really comfortable with it in the demo as I'm trying to adjust to the FIFA 18 style of defense. It really helps to have those central defensive mids. But on top of that, this also allows me to play with Mbappe, Neymar, Cavani, and also Di Maria. I want to give Di Maria a shot, to fight for his spot in the league. I'm not entirely sure how he's going to play, how he's going to fare. He could end up struggling and me selling him on in the next window before the second half of the season. And then he may also, prove to be really, really good for me. That right mid spot, obviously, me personally, I think Lucas fits a little bit better in this team in other formations. And Di Maria did not do very well for me whenever I was playing in the demo before the trial came out. We'll see how things go. It may end up working out well for us, and I hope it does because I do want to keep Di Maria around. He is one of my favorite players, but the big three are really the much more important part of the squad, and everybody else is kind of just playing in a supporting role. So we'll see how everything looks. First game is actually going to be against Arsenal, which was a little funny for me because that usually is the team that I do my first career modes against. I usually try to get Arsenal career modes out first. They're my favorite team. You kind of always want to play with Arsenal, and it was a little weird kind of coming up against them in a first career mode that I'm actually not going to play. And I don't know if I will do an Arsenal career mode anytime soon. We'll see. But the game gets off pretty quickly here, and this is my first game outside of the MLS teams. Obviously I played a couple of games with Atlanta United and the kickoff game that you have to play as Real Madrid against Atletico Madrid, but this is my first game in Legendary with better teams, I guess, European teams at the end of the day, and I was a little off put, to be honest. And this does play a little bit different than the demo, so if you have been playing the demo a lot, don't expect it to feel exactly the same, but it does still feel really good, and I did still really enjoy it. That slow start is what caused that Alexis Sanchez goal, but it was a really good goal, so I can't be too mad about conceding it. Here we actually managed to grab a pretty good goal back with Neymar, and this really excites me because, again, in the demo, the formations I was playing, I wasn't really getting the most out of Neymar until the end of the demo, but here in the actual full game, I'm feeling a lot more confident with Neymar, Cavani, and Mbappe, which obviously Mbappe wasn't in the demo, but you know what I mean in terms of PSG just feels better now with the team and the formation that I'm playing versus how they played in the demo. So the game was 1-1 until the end of the first half. Again, I was still trying to kind of get my feet wet, try to figure out what was going to work, what passes were going to work, how Verratti was going to play and how Rabiot was going to play in the midfield. And once I kind of got settled, I started getting a little bit more comfortable. I was trying to force a little bit too much with Neymar, but it was kind of working at the same time, so I kind of just kept giving it a shot. Here we move forward into the 55th minute. I don't know why I ever thought this was a good idea, but I went straight through the back of Lacazette. Honestly thought he was injured, but I guess that's just a new animation. He got up, he continued to play, and I got a red card for Kurtzawa. So Arsenal end up making a switch here, and then so do I, just taking off Di Maria at this point, I believe, and moving Mbappe to the right for a little bit before moving him back centrally. And we just moved forward, and honestly it didn't really matter. Di Maria was kind of non-existent at this point in the game. If you guys see the 2 red cards at the top of the screen, I don't know why there's 2. I only got 1, and I was only down to 10 men, so I think it's a little bit of a glitch in FIFA right now. But I ended up making the switch and didn't really notice too much. Like I said, Di Maria was kind of non-existent in this game. I think, again, I was forcing a lot through Neymar, so I can't blame Di Maria himself for the problems I had. So we just kept moving on. Neymar grabbed me another goal, and in the 90th minute, we try to push forward for one more goal with Rabiot, and just trying to keep the pressure on Arsenal as they were playing pretty attacking to try to get back in the game. I believe Koscielny was playing a striker because they were really trying to win the game. And it's definitely good to see that they're going all out to try to get the wins, especially in this format. So we end up grabbing our first win in the league and winning 2-1 against Arsenal and moving forward. So it was good to, beat a team that I play with regularly and see kind of how they were going to play as a computer, and also to get that first win and a few goals for Neymar and try to get a little bit more comfortable with PSG in this game. I do think they're going to be obviously one of the most overused teams along with Real Madrid this year, but also I think they're going to be one of the strongest teams this year. Real Madrid will probably be the strongest team again this year. I think they just have what they need for FIFA in terms of strong players, skilled players, and fast players. But PSG offers all of the same things in a little bit different of a structure, and I think it'll interest a lot of people. And obviously Neymar being on his own, and then with Mbappe being as good as he is this year with, I believe, 87 finishing, it's going to be interesting to see how players work their way around PSG and how much they really end up using him. I think you'll see him a lot in Ultimate Team as well. You'll see a lot more League One teams because of PSG this year, and it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a very interesting year to keep an eye on them. Also, if you guys did hear in the last video, or if you did not, I am also going to be doing an Ultimate Team series this year once the game is fully released and I'm on PlayStation, and it's going to be a little bit of a twist. So if you did miss that, make sure you go check the last video to see what the deal is there and what kind of rules I'm going to have on my Unite to Conquer series. So as you see here, Neymar scored the 2 goals last game, and we're hoping to continue that form, but also try to get Cavani and Mbappe in on the fun and maybe try to see how Di Maria plays. Honestly, going into this game, I was thinking to myself, Di Maria didn't perform last game. If he doesn't perform again, I may end up dropping him for Lucas, just to see if I can actually play with Lucas better or as comfortably as I am with Di Maria, and then that will allow me to sell on Di Maria here in the next window. So I did press that I didn't want to do the first window for this season because I wanted a lot of the teams to stay the same instead of buying new players. But because I'm in the MLS, I may have actually done that so that there is no transfer window in this season or series, because the first window, I believe, counts as the summer window because MLS starts early, so I may not be able to have another window until the end of the season. So if that ends up happening, it is what it is. I did want to play against a lot of the teams the way they are. Here in the 45th minute, right before the end of the half, we actually managed to go 2 goals up, and like I said, it was a very good signs to see that Mbappe was scoring, and we were getting a little bit more out of the big 3 than just Neymar. So we're hoping for more of that. We're hoping we can kind of recreate what PSG is doing right now, scoring goals all over the place. Mbappe, Cavani, and Neymar all contributing. Cavani's actually probably scoring, I think, the most out of all 3, and he's playing the best out of all 3. So it's very interesting to see. If you guys have been watching PSG, they're really fun to watch because Neymar is really enjoying himself. He's skilling all over the field. So is Dani Alves. They're playing like they're playing for Brazil, which obviously they have a lot of players that are Brazilian, so it is a little bit more comfortable for them. But it's very interesting to see for sure. Here, Mbappe just does a little bit of a drag back and takes a shot, and it works perfectly. The drag back is very strong this year. I would use the drag back more than most skill moves, and more than most fake shots. The only fake shot, in my opinion, that's actually worth using is the Cruyff turn, and obviously that's just the full 180 fake shot turn. It seems to be the most effective. But here Neymar ends up scoring for us and making it 4-0 right before the 90th minute. And I want you guys to watch this replay one more time because they end up giving this as an own goal to Vasquez. But I don't think Vasquez got the last touch here. I think it was Neymar. He went through 3 defenders to score this goal right in front of the keeper. And it ends up being given as an own goal instead of being Neymar's goal. But if you look right here, the way he ran through, it may have tapped off the defender's foot, but it was probably going in either way, and we end up winning the game 4-0. So off to a good start, a +5 goal difference at this point, and the next game is actually going to be against Real Madrid, so going in on good form, only conceding 1 goal so far, and scoring 4 today, again with 2 from Mbappe, and I think it was the own goal that should have gone to Neymar, and then Cavani scored the first goal, I believe. So playing really well going into this next game. You guys are going to see me use that black kit a lot because I do not like the yellow kit that PSG has, and we haven't had a home game yet. So 3rd game in a row wearing the black kit, but going up against Real Madrid at the Santiago Bernabeu and just trying to keep the streak going, really. Decided to actually keep Courtois off the lineup because Munier played really well at left back, so we're going to let him try that position one more time and see if he can actually just keep his place in the team. Again, Di Maria actually had a pretty big presence in the last game, so I was impressed with him and decided to give him one more game to really prove himself against his old club Real Madrid and see if I did actually want to keep him in the squad. So with that being said, this was going to be probably the biggest test that we had. I don't believe that Real Madrid is in our conference. I have to double check. Mainly we have a lot of English teams in our conference that we have to worry about, and other than that, there's not much. Mbappe manages to score in the 3rd minute though, and sets us off really, really well. So Cavani and Mbappe managed to link up, and if you watch this replay and look at the face of Mbappe, it's actually a no-look shot and right into the bottom left corner. So off to a really good start and off to a really strong start against a very strong Real Madrid team. Although, other than their defense, I don't believe they were playing a full-strength squad anywhere else on the pitch. Gareth Bale did not start. Benzema and Ronaldo started. Casillas started in goal, and I don't believe Kroos was starting or Modric in midfield. So we were fully taking advantage of them playing a weaker squad and tried to really put as much pressure as we could against their full strength defense, and really dominate that midfield with our 3 midfielders. So we managed to go 2-0 up, and here in the 30th minute, you're just going to see Ronaldo doing Ronaldo things. And he jumps right over Dani Alves, who at first I thought he got pushed by Ronaldo, and I was a little angry, but then you rewatch the replay, and for some reason Dani Alves decided to run forward and give up on jumping in front of Ronaldo and allowed him to score. So at this point I'm thinking, you know, Ronaldo is the cover star. He is the boy wonder for FIFA 18, and undisputably so the best player in FIFA 18. He's strong, he's fast, he has the skills, he has it all that you need to be the best player in FIFA 18. And I was thinking, you know, he's somehow going to keep scoring. But here Neymar manages to make a beautiful run, hit it straight at the keeper, and Casillas can't do anything with it, and actually ends up bobbling it into the back of the net. So going 3-1 up, I believe before the end of the first half. That's a very strong performance here from us, and we're just going to keep trying to push forward and see what we can do. But here in the 89th to 90th minute, we're just going to run down the clock a little bit and try to hold off this last push from Real Madrid and hope that we can keep a 3-1 victory against them. Goal difference is going to be very important because, as you guys are going to see the table at the end of this episode, we are actually tied on points with Manchester United, who seem to be off on a very strong start as well. And we want to make sure that we can keep that first seed spot for the playoffs come the end of the season. So goal difference is going to be very important if Manchester United is going to continue their dominance the way they are early on in the season. Mbappe manages to score 1 goal out of his 3 shots, along with Di Maria scoring, which keeps his place in the team for now, and Neymar also grabbing himself a goal. So as you see, PSV on 7 points, but we are tied with Manchester United. Currently, Real Madrid is down in 9th with only 2 points and down 2 in goal difference, with Roma at the top of their league. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Liverpool had 0 points, and that's how that episode is going to end. So if you guys did enjoy, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And until the next one, I'll see you guys later.